There's big news involving Liberty University. Joining me now to give us the details is the university's president, Jerry Falwell Jr., and his lovely wife, Becki. Thank you for joining us again on America This Week. Okay, Jerry, let's go. A big lawsuit. You're suing the New York Times. Tell us about it.
Well, you know, they published in March a story that was completely made up, that there was a COVID outbreak caused by Liberty allowing students to come back after spring break. Only 1,200 out of 8,000 came back because they had nowhere else to go. A lot of other schools did the same thing. We had 0 cases among students, faculty, or staff the whole spring semester. They reported we had 12 students with COVID symptoms, and they got their information from a doctor 10 miles away from Liberty, and he made it clear to them that he was talking about that he had seen students with an upper respiratory infection, which is not consistent with COVID. COVID is a lower respiratory infection. And so they knew they were lying. He told them to talk to the on-campus doctor. They refused to do so. And so they just flat out lied. And, you know, there really wasn't even a single COVID case in the city of Lynchburg when they ran these stories, but it scared the whole community that we were allowing students who had elderly relatives at home, who didn't have high-speed internet for online education, and international students to live in the dorms, even though we were practicing every state mandated requirement, social distancing, takeout food, everything that was required at the time. No gatherings bigger than no gatherings larger than 10 people. And so we did everything by the book. We had 0 cases. We became a model for other schools to follow, but yet they reported, and hundreds of news outlets, or at least dozens, picked up the story from the New York Times, did irreparable damage to our school. We're going to court. They picked on the wrong conservative, because we're one of the few conservative organizations that have the resources to fight them, and they will. They're not going to be happy. But any money we win, we've already decided we're going to donate it to charities committed to helping people with COVID-19. So we're not looking for money. We're looking for. We want to expose the New York Times for the liars and the BuzzFeed clickbait organization they've become.
Okay, Jerry, let me stay with you a second. Becki, hang on just for a minute, because there's so much to this lawsuit that I want to talk about. You say they intentionally falsified and made defamatory claims. You say they misrepresented the sources you just pointed out. You know, these are big, especially the New York Times. It's the paper of record. It's the old gray lady, as they say. Typically, that should be showing all sides of the story. Here's my question: did they contact you for comment, Jerry? And if they did they put it in the piece?
They were here the whole week, but they never called our doctor. They never called us. They waited till Sunday afternoon, the 29th, I believe. And they gave us 2 hours to respond, knowing that nobody would be at work. And we gave them a brief response, but we didn't know, really. We didn't have the information we needed to respond. But the story was already written, and it just shows how devious and evil these people are.
They've been on campus trespassing.
Yeah, no, Becki, I want you to weigh in. Tell us the damage that you and the university and the student body has been inflicted upon you and the student body from this type of journalism.
The damage was horrible. We were trending. Everybody thought Jerry was murdering his students. The way they exposed us and what they said, we had 12 cases when we actually had 0 cases, and scared the whole town. The fear that they placed on us and the negative attention that we got, because we were being a Christian university.
And the mayor.
And the mayor and the city manager also attacked us. And we were a Christian university, and we were doing what we thought was best to protect our students and to protect the people living in town. And we had no choice. And for them to trespass and come on campus, and from COVID hotspots, exactly, from hotspots, they came on campus and ignored all the warnings, and they could have brought it on our campus and given our students, exposed them to COVID, but they didn't care about it because they wanted to lie because we're a conservative Christian university. And it was all politics. It was all political. Jerry supports President Trump, and they have a hatred. All of this is based on their hatred for President Trump, and they just like to attack people that are conservative.
But we had no trespassing signs at every entrance, probably 25 or more, everywhere. So they knew they were trespassing, and they didn't care. And
they took the photographer took a picture of the no trespassing sign.
And published it.
And published it as part of our article.
But the mayor and the city manager of Lynchburg believed all these lies and attacked us publicly, and I'm still waiting for an apology. I sent them both a text. I said, when is my apology coming after we had 0 cases? I still haven't heard from either one of those ladies.
All right, we ran out of time. I want to talk to you about this more, and we'll bring it back on, but I think it is important to note that you're suing the paper, you're suing the reporter, and you're suing the photographer. You know, a lot of times a reporter will be biased and they'll put something out there. It has to go through an editor, so the paper can't say they didn't know what happened. It always goes through editors. We saw James Bennett being fired or summarily canceled because of some of the reportage that he allowed into his paper. So they're clearly they clearly know about it.
And isn't it ironic that Barry Weiss left the day before we filed the lawsuit? We've been working on this lawsuit for months. So I think that's a little bit providential, don't you?
I'm just here to ask the questions, Jerry. I'm just here. Jerry, good friends, Jerry and Becki Falwell. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
Bye-bye.